many things again for that very good. So carry on magazine, then they fight for the Dalit cases. It's a pleasure to invite you here on behalf of our university organization. Before starting, we have a small movie, so you all see that and then Mr. Kumar.
मेरी छोटी बेटी ऐसी स्ट्रेस चलेगी कि पूरा पीछे को और पिछले साल रखी है मुझे मैंने की जरूरत है उसी से
डिसाइड कर सकते हैं।
तो आप ज़्यादा सी का नॉन बिजनेस मास कि ये तो ट्रीटमेंट चलता सी
कभी जीने नहीं प्राप्त होना चाहिए रहना चाहिए प्राप्त भी नहीं चाहिए क्या करना है किसी के चीज़ होगी क्योंकि मेरे दिल के बाहर में मैं उसने जाना था सर्जरी के लिए और वो चाहता था कि जैसे मैं लोकल एक्सेस में यहाँ पे कि मेरी 32 में एडमिशन हुई है और मैं पीजीआई में एमडी में सीट लेना चाहता हूँ सर्जरी और मैं सर्जरी में सीट लेना चाहता हूँ और एमडी में अपीयर होने के लिए इनका क्या क्राइटेरिया है लाइक मैक्सिमम भी हमें यहाँ अपीयर होने के लिए हमारा क्राइटेरिया है कि हमें +1 और +2 यहाँ से की होनी चाहिए हमारे कोई बीच में गैप नहीं होना चाहिए हमें लेना चाहिए तो उसके सर्जरी के लिए अपीयर होना था उसके लिए प्लान है कि मुझे एमडी में सीट लेनी है सर्जरी में पीजीआई में और एक दिक्कत ये है कि अगर आपको यहाँ पे लेना है तो आपकी कोई सप्ली नहीं होनी चाहिए उसकी सप्ली नहीं होनी चाहिए उसके लिए फर्दर प्लान की और वो चाहता था कि मैं अगर मुझे यहाँ सीट चाहिए तो मैं जो ये है इसमें मैं जनरल में सीट लूंगा और उसके लिए आपको बिना किसी सप्ली के लिए वो चाहिएगा और वो इसी के लिए इतनी तैयारी कर रहा था कि मैं नहीं चाहता कि मेरी कोई सप्ली आए और उसकी कोई सप्ली आ भी नहीं रही और उसने उसका फर्दर सारा ही प्लान जो था
जनरल सीट ला मगर ख्याल से बेस्ट सीट नहीं है जनरल वाला सीट है बेस्ट सीट सुसाइड हुआ उनका उन्हें कितनी है एफआईआर उन्हें कितनी है उस सारा एडमन पूरे दिन पहले उनको एफआईआर क्यों लॉन्च की है वो कहता मैं इसलिए किया कि मैंने लीगल की रहा के साथ ही मैं अपने मर्जी से नहीं की है तो नहीं तो उन्होंने एफआईआर होने दें
इनका क्या क्राइटेरिया है लाइक मैक्सिमम भी हमें यहाँ अपीयर होने के लिए हमारा क्राइटेरिया है कि हमें +1 और +2 यहाँ से की होनी चाहिए हमारे कोई बीच में गैप नहीं होना चाहिए हमें लेना चाहिए तो उसके सर्जरी के लिए अपीयर होना था उसके लिए प्लान है कि मुझे एमडी में सीट लेनी है सर्जरी में पीजीआई में और एक दिक्कत ये है कि अगर आपको यहाँ पे लेना है तो आपकी कोई सप्ली नहीं होनी चाहिए उसकी सप्ली नहीं होनी चाहिए उसके लिए फर्दर प्लान की और वो चाहता था कि मैं अगर मुझे यहाँ सीट चाहिए तो मैं जो ये है इसमें मैं जनरल में सीट लूंगा और उसके लिए आपको बिना किसी सप्ली के लिए वो चाहिएगा और वो इसी के लिए इतनी तैयारी कर रहा था कि मैं नहीं चाहता कि मेरी कोई सप्ली आए और उसकी कोई सप्ली आ भी नहीं रही और उसने उसका फर्दर सारा ही प्लान जो था
जनरल सीट ला मगर ख्याल से बेस्ट सीट नहीं है जनरल वाला सीट है बेस्ट सीट सुसाइड हुआ उनका उन्हें कितनी है एफआईआर उन्हें कितनी है उस सारा एडमन पूरे दिन पहले उनको एफआईआर क्यों लॉन्च की है वो कहता मैं इसलिए किया कि मैंने लीगल की रहा के साथ ही मैं अपने मर्जी से नहीं की है तो नहीं तो उन्होंने एफआईआर होने दें उसको नेक्स्ट डे वेरी नेक्स्ट डे फ्रॉम हिज ट्रांसफर नेक्स्ट वो इतना सख्त है कि उसने इसको उसको कहने के लिए उसने नहीं आया और नहीं किया वो इतना सख्त था ना वो कहता आपको बेटा तो नहीं दे सकता पर हिसाब में आपको
सुसाइड नोट तो मिल गया
सुसाइड नोट जाने वाली
Documentary, this is one of the documentaries, we have made series of documentaries and on caste discrimination and especially on the issues of suicides which has happened. And suicide is a major issue in higher education and every week you will hear one or the other news coming from IIT or AIMS or just 2 weeks back there was a suicide case of Adin Meera who committed suicide. He was a first year student in AIMS. So this is not something which we have discovered. It is already there. The only thing is that we try to look into why these suicides are happening. And we have been working, our group has been working since last 7-8 years. And we knew this phenomena, about this phenomena. It is nothing shocking for us. And the only thing which stopped us was that I will discuss with you later. But we tried to look into it, what is the issue? Because if we talk to the institutions, and majority of the suicides committed in higher education, by the way, are from Dalit and Adivasi student background. We have done research on IITs. In IIT Kanpur, last 3 years, 8 students committed suicide. Out of 8, 5 were Dalit and Adivasi, and 1 was an upper caste woman. So 6 from, if we can categorize upper caste woman also as some kind of coming from a marginalized background, then 6. And this is across the country. This is not only about IIT. This is not about it happens in ISC Bangalore. My friends are sitting here from ISC Bangalore, and mostly it happens in sciences. So what we did was we started to document these stories. We started going and meeting to the parents. We started going and meeting to the institutions. We started meeting to the people who were involved with this in any way, like students, like their classmates. And the most difficult point is we come across is that the apathy of the institution. Whether it is a caste issue or not, that we will come later. But if you remember, there was a suicide case in IIT Madras. A 20 boy was committed suicide, and the dean of IIT Madras, when a press person went and asked why these suicides are happening, he says that why you are asking these stupid questions? Why you are not asking questions about how many patents which we had? So this is the kind of responses from the institutions on these suicide cases. And what they normally do is that every it's a patent, it's across the board. So first they will talk that okay fine, our academic environment is very rigorous, and the students are not able to cope up with that academic environment. So that is why they commit suicide. That's the standard response they get. Second is that okay fine, we will have some counseling services. So what we did, we went and to each counseling services. We went to IITs, we went to we are now planning to go to ISC also. And if you hear the counseling services, their responses, and their responses is exactly like that. See, these spaces are highly competitive. So these students, they come from schools, they are toppers there. But here they are equal, everybody is a topper coming from, coming from a very good academic background, and here the students are not able to cope up with that environment. So these are the general, responses which we get. If we don't take into account the large number of suicides by Dalit and Adivasi students, then this whole question of caste discrimination comes in. So what we did was we documented 18 cases. So this is just one of them. And in all those 18 cases, the only thing which comes across is that there is a high level of caste discrimination, blatant, overt, against Dalit and Adivasi students in these spaces. And these students are not your, typical Dalit students who have got through with 0 marks. That is what, we have this image of that, these students have come through quota. These were toppers. These were 75%. These were 85%. The boy who committed suicide in ISC Bangalore in 2008 was 89% in BSc, topper of Nizam College in Hyderabad. So these are not your typical Dalit and Adivasi students who come through backdoor, quote unquote, through reservation. So what is the problem? Why this problem is happening? So if you see, this is one of the cases where we have got suicide notes. In all the cases, what happened that in 18 cases which we have documented, in 17 there was no suicide case, no suicide notes left. Now what happens that the moment there is a suicide, the police comes and seals everything. Nothing comes. Parents are not told about what is happening, and parents are only called to take away the body. And in every cases, the parents of Dalit and Adivasi students have been forced to sign a letter saying that institution is not responsible in any way. Whether you take case of Jasprit Singh, whether you take case of Bal Mukund, whether Anil Meena, number of cases I can cite. So why this need of trying to whitewash all this? I'm not saying that we in our group we are very clear. We are not saying that caste discrimination happens. We are only saying that these parents, these students are saying something. We need to investigate. Are we open enough to have a look on it? You know, maybe this is not this was a case of just a personal grudge between a professor and a student. We are not saying that. But if there is a pattern, then there is something wrong with the system and there is a need to actually look at it. Then while going through these documentaries and since they are working in this area, this whole question of reservation, merit, quality, efficiency, these are the questions which we come across, and it's very, and the moment you talk about caste, there is huge polarization, and there's a huge, as if something that we are dropping some kind of hydrogen bomb in the campus, and we are trying to disrupt the peace of the campus, harmony of the campus, and that is one major problem which we face, and that is why we made this documentary. The rationale of this documentary is not to fight for the justice of these people, because I don't think that we can ever be able to give them this family a justice who has lost two of their children, but just to make a point that there is a problem, and as a citizen of this country, as an equal citizen of the country, there is a need to address it, whether it exists or not, but there is a need to actually talk about it, there is a need to investigate into it, and if certain segment of the your own students and student parents are saying something, we need to hear to them. So that was just the whole rationale of this documentary. And in this case, as because the city is not working. So what actually in the later half of the documentary is about how the judiciary and the police has dealt with this case. This professor, despite all the evidence, even some of his colleagues have disposed against him, but still this professor is working there. He has not been sent to jail even for a day. Though there was a warrant against him under SC/ST Atrocity Act, which is non-bailable, which you cannot get anticipatory bail, but he got anticipatory bail and from High Court, and he has not been punished. Even the inquiry which happened in the department went against him. But such is the the structure, the whole structure of classroom is such that this family is now 4 years now. I think this boy completed 2007 or 8. It's now more than 4 years, and nothing has happened. Only because of our documentary, and because last 1 year we have been campaigning throughout the country, and we have been going to documentaries. We are talking to the government. We are talking to the media. Media fortunately has given a lot of space on this, so you can just Google and you can see the every media, especially English media, has covered this very well. And Kapil Sibal just last week has come out with a statement that he is planning to bring out a bill against caste discrimination in higher education, which is very much on guard. But as Dalit, I don't have faith on these bills, because the problem is that India is a country of beautiful laws, but the worst implementation. We have SC/ST Atrocity Act, we have anti-GST law, we have anti-dowry laws, we have you name the crime, there is a law. So I'm not much hopeful. What I'm hopeful is that if these documentaries and if our group's intervention helps people to think about this problem, not in the binary of reservation versus quota versus non-merit. Apart from that, even if you don't agree with reservation, you have no right to discriminate against us. Even if you don't agree with any law, you don't have right to force people to kill. That's a different debate altogether. We can have that debate whether we want reservation, whether reservation is good or bad, whether reservation is effective or not effective. But because of this policy, if our students are being discriminated, this is a criminal offense. And that too in the higher education, which is supposed to be the most liberal space. They are supposed to be the thinking people, and where we have, when we grow up as a Dalit kids, we are always told some stories, that our parents tell that, okay, fine, caste is here in village, but caste is not there in cities. So education is a panacea for all this for us, and we see education in a very different way than others think. For us, education is, much more than about job or about salary. Education means life full of opportunity, a life full of dignity, which we don't have where we come from. So for us, education has a completely different meaning. So just we want to tell that there is a need to have a dialogue. Otherwise, this will keep going on, and one day the system cannot run like this forever. No, there will be violence, there will be backlash, there will be, you just cannot keep building this university, beautiful university with beautiful environment, and keep excluding us or keep discriminating us. There are a lot of people out there who are watching, who are seeing that, in the name of quality, in the name of efficiency, in the name of merit, there is just another signifier or signal for exclusion. Caste is nothing except exclusion. People say that, see, there is untouchability, untouchability is gone. So I say that untouchability was never caste system. Untouchability was just one part of caste system. Untouchability means it's not only about I won't touch you. Untouchability means that I am excluding you from all resources. I am not going to share my resources with you. That is untouchability. That understanding of untouchability, that touch me not, I will not eat food with you. I don't care if today you touch me or not touch me or eat food with me. I seriously don't care. What I care is that if my children are going to sit in this classroom, he or she will not be discriminated. That is a caste system for me, and that is untouchability for me. And I think what happened in last 60 years, that because of the constitutional provision of Article 17, untouchability is abolished. So we really feel that we have abolished untouchability. So nobody wants to talk about caste, so talking about caste is casteism. So if I talk about caste, I am casteist. And we have, just now I was talking to you next time that we have self-hypnotized ourselves. That caste is not there. Because I don't practice caste. Because I don't lynch people, I don't rape Dalit women, I don't parade them naked. So there is no caste. I don't practice. I don't ask your caste. But that is not the way how we look at it. We look at it in terms of opportunities. We look at it in the terms of access to resources, access to education, and if there is barriers to these, avenues, certainly we live in a caste system. There is no other way. That notion of caste we have to discard. Caste system has moved on, so we should also move on. How different ways, we have to look into how different ways caste work. So that's it, I think. I'm not an academician, so I won't be giving you data. I won't be speaking very eloquently. I'm an activist, and I work in this area, so I speak from my heart. Thank you very much. We have made 5 documentaries. We have documented 18 cases. None of the cases institutions agreed to come on camera, even talk to us. We were thrown out, literally thrown out of games by guards. Not even, we have got 5 documentaries, not even once, only once in Hyderabad Central University in Central Space, one professor talked, and that we are coming out with that documentary, where he was chairperson of the inquiry committee. And that is the only inquiry committee which has been set up in the last 60 years on caste discrimination in any university. And being, he is a wonderful faculty person, wonderful person, and he has came out with a report saying that yes, it exists. So he was the only person. He is from communication department, Parwala, Professor Parwala. So he was the only one who said. Nobody. We were thrown out. They were not even willing to engage, even all the time. Yeah.
See, one of the examples of what actually
I will give you 3 examples. One is about Jaspreet case, where his professor has been failing him and telling him that since you are a scheduled caste, you will not be able to get degree. This is one form of discrimination. Second, we have a documentary that we don't have that time. Second is a documentary about IIT Roorkee which we have made, where the classmates of that student Manish Kumar, used to abuse him like anything on class lines. which forced him to go into depression, which forced him to leave one semester. He has to leave the campus. He went into psychiatric treatment, and then the parents went to IIT Roorkee administration. The dean and the faculty and the hostel warden says that, see, we cannot stop 3,000 students. There are 3,000 students here. We cannot stop anyone. So better you do is you take him out of the campus. So for next 1 year, for next 6 months, this boy stayed out of the campus. He took a room, rented place in IIT. Mind you, those who know the IIT system know it very well that how hard it will be for a student to live outside the campus and to perform in the class. Because you have regular class tests, you have practicals, you have so much that you will be only be able to know when you are among the students, among your friends, among your classmates. But this boy was forced to live outside IIT Roorkee at a rented place, and his father was a military personnel and he was not here, he was posted somewhere. So he came and and asked his own younger brother to take care, and his younger brother and a family member came and they talked to Gordon. Gordon immediately said that no, we cannot do anything, we cannot stop 3,000 students. किसका किसका मुंह पकड़ेंगे? That was the exact statement he said in Hindi. किसका किसका मुंह बंद करेंगे? And this boy, after 6 months, when the psychiatrist says that he can go back, everything is alright, he is readmitted, he takes up the hostel, and within 2 months he jumps from 7 to 6. And now the administration is saying that such application never exists, nothing happened, parents never came to them, and nothing of that sort happened. They have no they are saying that you show the application because they have not given, and they are very clever people. No, so what they did was they never gave the countersigned copy. They cut the application and said, we will take care, don't worry. You better because IIT is very tough and your student is your son is disturbed. So you better get him treatment and let him stay outside for some time.
Very compassionate.
But
can I also
and third one, just let me complete. And the third one is about Manish, 18 cases. Third one was about Balmukund. There is another Dr. Balmukund. He committed suicide when only 2 months were left from his degree. And last 3 years he was been failing in just one subject, and that too of social medicine, which is the least difficult subject. And Professor K. Anand openly used to abuse him in the class that you are from reserve category, you तो doctor ही नहीं बन सकता, तेरे में बुद्धि नहीं, you don't have the brains to become a doctor. And this Balmukund was, he got president medal. He was a student of Navodaya Vidyalaya from a very poor background, from an area called Bundelkhand, which is the border of UP and from such an area where there has been no doctors in last 50 years. This was the first boy to come up, and he was an 80%. He was a president medal awardee. He cleared both IIT and AIMS exams in 1 year, but he chose to become a doctor. And in the final year, he has been told that you don't have the brains because they have come through quota, and you cannot become a doctor. So just 2 months before the degree, he commits suicide. So there are many issues in this. One is blatant caste discrimination. Other is how the students are seen as, how if I am not able to speak English, how if I am not able to dress up well like you guys, I am considered as a weak student. Maybe I am sitting up, backside and I am not able to, I don't have the confidence to raise my hand and ask a question. This does not mean that I am weak. It just only means that I require certain skills which this space has a duty to provide to me. And it has nothing, it does not reflect on my intelligence level. It's about my social background. It's about because my both parents were illiterate. It's because I have not come from government education. I have never seen people like him in my life before I came to Azim University or ISD Bangalore. You are alien to me as a foreigner. We have to understand these things. And if we don't understand, if we are very conveniently put it, saying that it's all about married and non-married, then it's okay. And keep going. But we are not honest. We are not, as an academician, we are not honest. As a citizen, we are not honest.
Can I also ask whether there has been any observed in the space of that institution, whether say in the dining halls or in the hostel rooms, what is the kind of situation that?
It's everywhere, if you see there is a Surat committee report which has come in 2007 about games. It clearly mentions that, even the choice of games. So upper caste students will play basketball and the Dalit students will play football. Because basketball is, more and they won't allow you, play basketball. And then in the rooms, during this cultural festival, there is a complete exclusion. So there is a committee is formed. Committee is constituted of, whether it's a Bengali committee or Bengali culture, all the regional cultural groups. If you see, caste works like anything in these cultural groups, and Marathi group, cultural group, and you see that there is a complete exclusion of Dalit and Adivasi students. And this exclusion does not work like that. Okay, I will put your, hold your collar and say get out. It doesn't work like that, no. It works in a very subtle manner, and but the result is that if you see, you take any institution, you will find Dalit and Adivasi students completely excluded from the friend circles and from the that common space which we talk about outside the classroom.
Yeah, but what about the dining halls? Is it true that there are Dalit tables and non-Dalit tables? It gets formed out of, if you see JNU. See, in ISC it is very clear, non-veg and veg. So veg tables are there, veg tables only ISM and Adivasi sit there. And if you go and sit and eat non-veg, you will be, they will kill you through their eyes. The way they react to you. So it's not that they will start beating, but you get the sense that they are treating you as inferior because of your food choice. Because of your, whatever. So that is very, and JNU where I am the product of JNU. So in JNU, both region and caste play a role. So because JNU has an all India character, so there will be students from South India sitting there. But within that student there will be two groups. One Dalit group and another non-Dalit South Indian group. And it will be automatic. Everybody will come, pick up thali and sit at their own place where they are comfortable with. So it's also about comfort. I'm not saying that it's only about blatant casteism. It's also about comfort. I don't feel comfortable with upper caste. So I also actually in a way practice caste, but I don't feel welcome. So I also don't try there to come, because I know I will not never be accepted as an equal member or an equal part of that group. So then what happens? Then a reverse thing starts happening. Dalit students start mobilizing themselves. And Adivasis come together, and then this whole you can very clearly see. It's not in the mess dining room. You can very clearly see by looking at the tables. You can guess which caste group is there.
What are the steps that could be taken by these institutions to address this issue? Can you share some good initiatives?
First thing is to accept that there is a problem called caste. Unless until you accept, there cannot be any step. And second, the institutions need orientations on how to deal with Dalit and Adivasi, how to see Dalit and Adivasi students. If you consider me weak from the first day, I don't think there is any dialogue possible between a student and a faculty member. Because then the scope of improvement is not there. No, because I am weak. I am already weak. You have marked me as a weak. So unless there are two things. You have to accept that there is a caste, something called caste. And second, there is a need of orientation. I am not saying that everyone is casteist. I am not saying that every upper caste faculty is a casteist sitting out there and trying to harass me and my students and my friends. I am not saying that. What I am trying to say that there is much more sensitive approach is needed. And there is a difference between poverty and caste. That is one issue which I agree with. See, poverty, you can find upper caste poor also. I agree with that. I have no issues with that. You address that problem. You make your education system more accessible. You design your entrance exam in a way that even a poor student can compete. Tell me, the entrance exam system in this country is so horrible. For IIM you need 3 lakh rupees. For IS you need 4 lakh rupees. There is a multi-million-dollar coaching institutes. What are they producing merit? What we are talking about? One
University of Kota, in Rajasthan for IIT, you know how much 1 year they spend? And then we talk about merit. We have to redesign our entrance exam. What is, I will quote one para from a speech which Dr. Ambedkar gave in 1927. He was a member of the Legislative Council, Bombay Legislative Council, and there was this bill on the Bombay University. There was some restructuring was happening, and he pointed out that what is the basic purpose of these universities? What is the basic purpose of higher education? Is the basic purpose of higher education is only exams? That is what we are planning to? That is how we see higher education. Then we talk about why in that time, in 1927, he was worried about why these entrance exams are so tough. When we know that this country does not have a history of proper education, and this country has a history of hegemony of certain class of people on education. If you are making your entrance level so tough, actually you are excluding the majority of this country, which has no history of education. And the quality of entrance exam is not equal to quality of education. Your tough entrance exams does not mean that you will produce brilliant doctors and engineers. And India is one country with the toughest exams. In general, I'm not talking about one particular exam, but in general. So he was in 1927. This fellow was articulating about the problems which we are facing right now. So we need to, there are multiple problems and we need to look on it.
Engineering college, I don't know what things are there in engineering or any colleges. But speaking about the social science college, which is one of the well-known in the country, there also, after every end of a program, there is this outcry of Jen. Okay, I seriously don't know. Yeah. So there is this everybody is saying this is today, and then suddenly when everything stops, suddenly there is somebody who says Jai Bhim, and suddenly more of people will come and say Jai Bhim. I don't know what kind of discussion people like you, activist people I mean, and our professor are creating between us, and us means us, nothing like. Because as soon as you say that, you find that, oh my God, there's something. I thought that everybody was same, right? It was like me only. I totally agree. We studied Caste and we agree that Caste do exist. And Caste do exist in engineering colleges and every other college. How do you explain this? And second thing, we are not touching education system from the primary level when it comes to Caste. Because it's like political issue. If you want to win an election in a village level where people go for the caste, like in Rajasthan, still the scheduled caste people are not allowed to drink water from the same pond. Children are discriminated on the basis of that. If you go to a village level, you can clearly see upper caste people sitting here. There will be huge gaps, and then lower caste children. So we are not touching caste from that angle. And suddenly at higher education level, you say, oh, caste is there. Now, and then you say that, okay, listen, we are from low caste, we didn't get English education, so that's why this is discrimination. So, don't you think that education level should be reformed from that level A, and the kind of dialogue that we are generating in an institution like this should be a more holistic, rather than saying that, like, if we talk about gender, we say men are culprits. So rather than that, it should be more holistic.
Okay, first of all I will say, what is the problem with jabbing? Suppose if I say jabbing, why so appealing to you? Why it is so appealing to you? Jabbing, suppose somebody should come together and say jabbing. They don't mean any harm to you. What harm? What harm? We used to say Jai. They used to say Jai, many salutations. You say Jai, not you. You used to say many things, when they greet.
What is important? How they speak, that is important.
No, how they speak is, I will come back. second part, let me judging for me. See, this is a particular kind of institution. I think a lot of work has been done there, and this cry of jabbing is a temporary phase. This is a form of assertion, and you have to do it. Suddenly there is this huge exclusion, and suddenly I have a space to talk. I will accept, whether you like it or not. Sorry, there is no, you have to understand this. You have to be sensitive to it. If I mean any harm to you, then it is wrong. If I am discriminating against you, if I am trying to, corner you in any way, then it is wrong. But if I simply 5 of us come together and say, Jagging in the class, Jagging means, salutation to it.
Suddenly in a function we are one, and like suddenly in this class we are one, and suddenly...
So you also say Jagging, you will become one.
I really don't agree clapping on it because when I go through this college stage, and really discriminate in a one way. Like you feel discrimination. I totally agree. I've studied in Punjab, and that area was, I think, the development of that area is lowest. And you can frequently hear in the nearby villages that upper class people burn the lower class people, they rape the family. So this is there. It's not that it's not there, and it's not happening, and we are not addressing it. But I'm just worried about the dialogues we are saying.
Dialogues will be painful because of painful issue. Dialogues will be painful.
And also you have to look into the language of dialogue.
And when you talk of us, we, I have a problem. I don't consider you and me as us. Unfortunately. Anyway, I've said that second point, which is much more important, I think, in my opinion, is about not talking about primary issues. When we talk about first about primary issues, these students have come to that primary issue. They are also product of that. They have reached there. I'm not saying that everything is okay. I'm trying to say that yes, that is an issue, but why this need to build a hierarchy of issues? That this is important, this is not important. I think both are important. These boys have come from same primary institution, and they are not weak. They are all toppers. And if they are committing suicide or suffering from problem, you just cannot say that, first of all, let's improve primary. I said let us improve both the things together. I have why should I prioritize one issue on other? That is that same thing, But okay, fine, like for what women, for men tells to women. But okay, fine, that like what happens when in a lower caste and class background, the male son, the son gets privileged over daughter, right? In education, in everything. And they have a very good logic. See, this boy is going to earn. This girl will go to some other home. And in my old age, actually, my son will take care. And it's very logical, believe me. If you see it that angle. So this prioritization of issues will not work. Primary education is very important, and there are hundreds of organizations which are working on this issue. It's not that nobody is working on that. There are plenty of organizations, government initiatives are there, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, and you name it, and that is there. But in higher education, caste and higher discrimination, ours is the only way which talks about this. So I can't create this, that this is important, this is not important. For us, both are important.
It's not so much a question, but more as a comment. I think the way I heard your lecture today was more about the issues present in the society rather than higher education, primary education, school or college. So, I totally agree with both of you that it should start at the very beginning when you should be sensitized from maybe the very primary education level. But I think if we think more in terms of the issue itself rather than the space where it's happening, that can be more.
That is one way. Second way is when some crime is committed and if the justice is being made, then there is sensitization. In all these 18 cases, if there is an investigation And if these cases are found true, and if these guilty are punished, there will be sensitization automatically. I don't need to go to primary level to sensitize people. See, if anti-dowry law, all these laws, then we never say that, okay, fine, we will talk about anti-dowry in the primary school. We will sensitize the people from the lower level. No. You should do it. I am not saying that you should not do it. But then you need, there is a crime which is being committed here. It's not about being sensitive or insensitive. Sorry. It's not about being, that these students, we don't call it suicide, it's murder. We call it murder. Technically, it's a suicide. For us, it's a murder. It's a murder of these brilliant students. And I will also come about this. Why we have termed this documentary name as the death of merit. Actually, we talk about merit a lot. So, and what we want to say is that this is the real merit. When a person like Bal Mukund, whose both parents are illiterate, comes from such a background, comes to AIMS which has only 30 seats all over India, and comes an AIMS and has and spent 5 years there. Despite all his problems, and he has been clearing all those courses, and then somebody comes and tells that you don't have the brains to become a doctor. And I feel that that is the real merit, that despite all these, this boy was able to climb up to this level, and that is what actual merit means. Merit is not about marks. I'm a second generation literate. Okay, my child will be as good as you. He will be speaking as good English as you. He will dress up as well as you. It's all about opportunity. There is nothing called genetic merit or something. It's all about I am educated. Now I am living in Delhi. I have access to resources, and I will put my child in the best school. It's all about opportunities. It has nothing to do intelligence per se. So that is why the whole question of merit is defined in such a way that it's very casteist. The whole concept is bogus.
I understand your activism is towards getting justice and appearance. My question to you is, these are good, bright people who have been pushed to suicide. What would you recommend a sensitive university should do? I believe in Vellore, where this I've read the editorial by Professor Thomas, who is exactly addressing this. Yeah. But you also said there's now. One professor has, of course, discriminated, but for me that doesn't explain how this person who has fought so many odds got there, survived 5 years, and then he commits suicide. It's something more than that. There must be a lot more thing happening than that.
Yeah, this is one person.
These are not already psychotic people. These are good.
No, I will raise 2 points. Let me take you to what is the black experience in the US. We have done a similar study about how these universities, Western universities dealt with this. If you see their websites, you just go to Harvard website, any website, there are a lot of programs, a lot of studies their own faculties have done on how to improve, intake of women in faculty position, how to improve, blacks, how to, and there are a lot of orientation programs run by women for women, run by blacks for blacks, and it is institutionalized. Institution is one party which actually creates that space where there is a mentorship. If suppose there is a Dalit who is successful and he comes to a class of Dalit students and who has just come in and he just talks to them. See, everything is not caste. Sometimes I perceive also many things. Suppose if you are little good to me because of 100%, not because of caste, but because of my own perception, I will deem it as a caste offense, as an insult. So I am also suffering. It's not that. I am also negotiating with that. So there is a need to create that space, and institutions have to take initiatives. That there is a need for in IIT or in any other educational institution. If we went to IIT Delhi, we said that we want to form a group, an informal group, and it will not do anything apart from orientation. They refuse. We don't allow any group in the name of caste, creed, sex, religion, etc. So there is no scope. So there is a student who comes here, and Dalit category is also, it's not a homogeneous category. It's diverse. You know, people from Odisha, Dalits from Odisha have nothing in common with a Dalit from UP. A Dalit from Tamil Nadu has nothing in common with me. So it's not that, you know, just because of my identity I am automatic, you know, there will be a bonding or there will be a group formation. So there is a need, and I think the US universities are one of the best examples to deal with. If you just check, you know, we just check their website, and you will see number of studies they have done first on women, on ethnic minorities, on black, Hispanic, etc., and then they have programs for that. So a black student, if he or she comes, he has to go through 2 weeks of orientation program. That will be led by the black who is successful. And then they have a zero tolerance policy on discrimination. Unless and until you have that, you know, the institutions have set up, has to set up examples. I am not saying that discrimination is not there. Many of my black friends say that discrimination is still there. But at least there is some mechanism. Here what happens is that a student has no mechanism. So even if I am perceiving it wrong, I need to speak out. I need to talk to this problem. Talk to, you know, someone senior, some faculty, some senior student. Some space I should get. That is not there completely. And second point, you know, we are talking about, see, it's not only about one professor. It's just a very simple documentary we have made. No, it's about many things. This Barmukul, if I tell his whole story, the first day, you know, when he comes and he is ragged badly and he is beaten up thoroughly, and his door, outside door, there is, you know, we have put the picture also, you know, in our blog. You know, bastard Caste to run away from this campus. That was engraved on his door by a knife or some sharp object. So it's not about that. We are not professional documentary makers. You know, this we just made somehow, you know, using our own little bit of skills. So it's a process, it's an ongoing process. And just one professor, and all these students who have committed suicide, most of them committed suicide in their last semester. And that is very important. That indicates something. And that indicates that these students were not escapists. They were not running away. They fought till they could fight. And you know what happens, and why these suicides happen? Suicide is just because it is completely breakdown, you know, that you are nothing, you are nobody. And you have come through, you know, you have scored so much in school, and you come with so much confidence. And suddenly you are told that you don't have brains. And then, and in our culture, teacher is considered to be some very respectable, you know. People normally do not talk back to professors. And there is very healthy respect in general. I'm not saying everybody does that, but in general, among the students. So, no, this is what I felt. You know, I was also engineering student. I just didn't. The only thing was that I didn't commit suicide. Everything was the same. I also, last I was not able to take my degree. So, and then when your professor discriminates, it's very difficult to negotiate with that because you are in shock. You don't know how to react. If a professor in IIT says to you, suppose there is a viva and you are not able to answer one question, are you from Kota? In front of IIT student, even if I am not a general student, if I am not able to answer a question, first question, you look like a Kota student, are you from Kota? So a general student will take it as a joke and he will forget it. But the student sitting out there, he knows that this professor is prejudiced. And he will never approach this professor again in his life.
I noticed that most of the exams, all examples today were of male students and male professors. What is the negotiation that happens between the female professor and female faculty class?
This is one major problem. And there were 2 female societies which belong, but the family refused to come. Family refused. Because there is this whole notion of, you know, that if female case comes up and, you know, the family feels very ijat of our. That is family also is the have to the family very hard. But can be the so they don't want their daughter's case to come up.
But these people, they do not have a problem in revealing their names.
Male students, parents, 2 female students, they approach families, both of them.
And also, is there anything that any survey documentary that you've done on, not the elitist institutions, but the lesser private ones, which actually form the mass of the higher education?
Private ones don't have the student unfortunately.
So they have to. They have to be searched for.
They have, no, suicide among the students is one of the biggest issues in this country. Apart from caste issue, forget about caste issue. Suicide among teenagers, suicide among young people in India is one of the biggest issues, but nobody is addressing it.
I guess people have questions and maybe you should talk to them outside.